Hey, me, Brian. Oh, dang, there I am. Wow. Frame all out of whack and everything. This is a bright spot right here, huh? That's why my camera filter keeps bucking back and forth. Hey, it's me, Brian. Alright, still morning. Teresa went into town to sit with the boys so Tosh can work. Alright, I've been doing my chores, right? Trying to catch up since, everything's kind of settled down. Teresa's moving around, pretty good. Let's see, where am I? Today is Saturday, right? It's pretty nice outside right now, actually. It's like probably in the mid 50s, right? Maybe a little bit 60s. It's still early. It's like around 10:30, 11 o'clock, right? Sunny. There isn't a cloud in the sky. You know what I'm saying? And it's been like this for like the last week or so, with the wind blowing back and forth. Like yesterday, it was steady, 10, 12 miles an hour all the time, gusting to like 25. You know what I'm saying? But this is the last really good spring day we're gonna have for a week, right? Because according to Teresa's phone, right, the weather thing, because she's connected to the weather thing right over here at Hadley, right? Right, we're gonna have a cooling trend. It's gonna cool all the way back down to like 19. I think she said Tuesday. Before it starts warming back up and then just turns full blast spring, right? And so this is the last cold spot. Usually, last year when we were living out there at Blue Springs, at this point in the time of the year, we had one last storm, bang, up, because it's higher up out that way, up the valley. You understand? So it rained, and bing, there was the last snowstorm of the year, right? And that was it. Then turned into spring. You know what I'm saying? As you guys see, I've been showing you. I've been walking around the yard. I've been trying to catch back up on the the irrigation stuff, because obviously the dirt out here moves and the ground moves a lot. And so that's what broke the pipe. I'm saying over there at the septic. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the black irrigation lines that are in the ground out here, what I'm saying, I sort of pulled them last summer. I sort of pulled them up out of the ground so I could see them and watch them and fix a lot of them. There's a couple of trouble spots I still got to do over by the lilacs. I don't know if these three trees right here, I know the end one is not going to come back, but the two middle ones might. And the one in front is, they're trying, but lightning bolt, well, it wasn't a lightning bolt, it was a windstorm, snapped the little front one in half. It was one tree, and the windstorm ripped it all the way down to the bottom. So I don't know if that was going to live this year. What I did earlier. Anyways, you know what I'm saying? Where was I? The last time I talked some smack. Putin, I think it was. But anyways, let's do Ukraine. War in Ukraine. Right? I've been paying attention and keeping up. So I was reading yesterday, no, 2 days ago, right, that the first shipment of the $300 million security package that Biden signed of the original eight. It was 800 million. It was like that was like about a month ago. Well, the first 300 million of it showed up over there. Kabingo, landed on the ground. The arms dealers, you guys did a whale of a job. Right? And plus, we was watching the news yesterday morning, me and Therese, in Slovakia. That was the name. Slovakia, which is a NATO country. Right? You know what I'm saying? They decided on their own, you know what I'm saying, that they were going to give one of their S-300 anti-aircraft defense, electric machine gun things, you know what I'm saying, to the Ukrainians, you know what I'm saying? And they decided this all on their own last week, right? You know what I'm saying? And the NATO generals and everybody else that's all involved, you know what I'm saying, to keep it legit, keep it on the up and up. This is what they did, right? They rotated another one of our Patriot defense missile systems, right, around back into Slovakia to plug the hole because that S-300 system that they got right there that they're giving to the Ukrainians is part of their defense system against, for NATO to begin with, right? So they, the general didn't want, a hole plug, a hole right here in the defense. So they rotated the Patriot around. The Slovakians are going to, they're in the process right now of shipping the weapon system over to Ukraine, and they're going to set it up somewhere around, probably Kyiv. Right, Mariupol is still under siege. right? They're still killing people, probably, more mass, atrocities like they did in that other little town over there that they couldn't capture, right? It's on the ground, it's getting nasty. It really is. The Russians are trying to capture people now. You know what I'm saying? Well, they have been all along, but it's coming more and more to light that they're trying to capture people. Does this whole storyline sound familiar? You know what I'm saying? Am I having a flashback? And check it out, of a time when I wasn't even born, and they're doing this shit all over again? I mean, is this what would have happened if Eisenhower and all the generals, and MacArthur, if they didn't vote to contain Stalin back there at the end of the war, you know what I'm saying? If Stalin would have free will to run over Europe, would the same thing have happened, right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, war. What war? What does it mean? You're fighting somebody over a piece of dirt, a piece of land, piece of country, piece of something. You understand that doesn't belong to you, nobody. It can't belong to you. It belongs to the earth, right? It's going to be here a lot longer than you. Right? So why fight over it? You know what I'm saying? Try to find a way to live with it in harmony and use the resources in a safe and respectful way. Well, we're not contaminating the whole world instead of fighting over it. I mean, here's another thing about it. Remember I talked about this Chernobyl, right? Well, you know what I'm saying? A bunch of influencers, I guess, you know what I'm saying, got the word out. You know what I'm saying? Right? And all of a sudden Chernobyl became a big issue, right? Because of what the scientists were posting on TikTok and shit. You know what I'm saying? Well, I was looking at some aerial photographs from some of the, drones. Right? And the stupid Russian soldiers were digging entrenchments and gun emplacements around one of the most radioactive, the reactor, the one that blew up. They're digging emplacements around it and setting up tanks, to defend Chernobyl from the Ukrainians. When it was the Ukrainians were the ones, the 200 Ukrainian scientists were the ones that would take care of it, trying to make, turn it off, trying to make it safe, right? The rest of the soldiers just charged right in. We're going to defend this, right? We'll blow it up if we have to, right? This is ours. We don't care if we're kicking up the radioactive dirt and putting it in the air. The forest that surrounds this place got so radioactive, it got so burned, it was so hot. Right? They call it the red forest because the trees all turned red. You know what I'm saying? Like red. Like this color red. Right? And there's, I don't know if they're still growing or not, but I would imagine they are. The earth can absorb, and its creatures and its species and its diversity and its biosphere, it can absorb a lot of punishment. You know what I'm saying? But some of the species that live on it, we can't. Right? And in order to make the environment better for ourselves, we destroy it even more. Yeah, sure, I made that video the other day about dealing with, toxic wastewater, but you saw how I did it. You should have seen what I had to do with the toxic waste mud I had to deal with the sewer. I dragged that shit 300 yards out into the boonies over there, wheelbarrow by wheelbarrow, right? Laid it in the shallow end of a wash and then covered it up with wood chips. And I hauled all the way over there, wheelbarrow by wheelbarrow, right? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sure. All of us in our own way are polluting the whole planet and we're killing it all. But there's got, this war is creating even more devastation. There was another update, right? There are parts of Ukraine, eastern Ukraine, that the Ukrainians fought back for and got recaptured. You know, they're showing videos of the cleanup crews going digging around looking for the dead bodies, trying to collect the people. You know what I'm saying? There have been a lot more people killed. You know what I'm saying? Than were previously estimated. You know what I'm saying? And the Russians, it seems like they didn't care. They just blew it all up. Right? Fall back. Blow it up some more, fall back. Blow it up some more, fall back. Like Hitler. Hitler's policy, when they started losing, when Barbarossa went wrong and Leningrad held out just like Mariupol, you know what I'm saying? And gave Stalin a chance to build it all up. When Hitler's soldiers were retreating, he ordered them burn everything. Kill everybody. All of it. Wipe it out. Burnt earth policy. Scorched earth. Right? That's what they left in their wake. You know what I'm saying? What the hell? But, like I said, the first $300 million of the supply chain showed up. Or it started to. You know what I'm saying? The soldiers are holding out really good. They have good defensive tactics. But now they're starting to engage in offensive tactics. Right? You know what I'm saying? Because they have learned to adapt to use the anti-tank rocket missiles, you know what I'm saying, and the Stingers, you know what I'm saying, and the other portable ones that they got, right? And their little drone system, and I was reading about their hacker drone squad, right? It's all volunteers. They're all IT volunteers. You know what I'm saying? You know, just regular people that used to work in the office building got blown up yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Right, got together and they formed their own drone squad, and they're using, you know, them really cool Lion, you know, drones, like my friend Mark Airbag does on Kernow EXP. Look him up, Kernow EXP. Right, they're using one of them to kind of. They have a whole squad of them, dude. These just fly around, they check all this stuff out. You know what I'm saying? Right, they're expanding their capabilities so that they can, you know, keep their offensive going. Yeah, maybe the Russians are pulling back, but they're still. Putin can still amass another 250,000 soldiers on the border and just push them right in through the tank roads that they've already established. Because if they'll defend that, he'll just keep pushing soldiers at defending his stronghold. Right? It's not giving up. Right? Gasoline's still $5 a gallon. You know what I'm saying? You know, Biden. Right, Biden this, Biden that, Biden everybody else, the government this and that. You notice the COVID's not that big of a deal anymore. You know what I'm saying? But the booster vaccine sites are, you know what I'm saying? Pfizer and Johnson Johnson, Moderna, everybody. They got 3 or 4 different, variant boosters. And like as soon as one comes out, they got shot. Another one comes out, they got shot. Right, here's this other one comes out, got shot. China got shot. You know what I'm saying? Korea got shot. Everybody's got a shot, booster shot. Quadruple booster. All right, and you got to pay for each one of these shots to make sure that you don't get COVID. But you know what? Somewhere along the line, right, with all them shots and booster shots and extra super shots, you know what I'm saying? They gave you COVID. They gave you one of the variants. They might have given you all the variants, right? You know what I'm saying? And now you believe yourself that you are immune to it. But the pharmaceutical companies are making billions, right? And so that just stuff is gone. And here's another update, right? The American workforce is going back to the office. Something like 40 million Americans went back to work this past week or two. Right? And now they're discovering all these issues, all these social issues, and all these problems. You know what I'm saying? They're associated with working at home for 2 years, and now you gotta come back to the office. You gotta wear a tie. Now you gotta dress up. You gotta put your makeup back on. You gotta hang out. You gotta get to know everybody, but you gotta stay, 6 feet apart. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's wearing a mask, probably. You know, the boss is looking at everybody on, closed circuit camera, watching to make sure there no shit goes down, let it go sideways. Right? All this weird social, you know what I'm saying? Right? It's funny. You know what I'm saying? All these analysts and all these social workers and marriage counselors and all these people, it scrolls across my feed. It's crazy some days. So some days it's all racing, other days it's Trump, some days it's Ukraine, other days it's this. You know what I'm saying? They're all talking about the social aspect, you know what I'm saying, of being crammed back into this room in the little cubicle again. You know what I'm saying? And how that's going to affect the overall performance and productivity, you know what I'm saying, of all these office workers, of all these little worker bee drones, you know what I'm saying, that come back to run the machine, you know what I'm saying? Right? And instead of, there's some corporate bosses are coming up with this idea. It's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Instead of everybody coming in and working 5 days a week and have Saturday and Sunday off, you know what I'm saying? And still, with your remote capabilities, when they're out doing this or that with their phone, their little laptops and shit. Right? But they're proposing that everybody works only 3 days a week. You know what I'm saying? And they haven't decided on which 3: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Wednesday, Friday. You know what I'm saying? Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. They haven't decided yet, but me personally, I would vote for this: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Right? With potentially Thursday being a standby day. You know what I'm saying? Just so that you could get your hours in, you know what I'm saying? Make your cheese, right? So you can pay your bills and all that stuff because here slowly, right, it's going to change again, right? The whole paycheck thing is going to change again, right? And there's going to be another step, and there's going to be a deeper separation between the uppers and the lowers. You know what I'm saying? Right? Because now right? The whole system's going back to people having to work for their money instead of faking it at home. See, the war has changed everything. The war, right? COVID, I mean, the last 3 years running, right, changed everything completely across the board, right? It changed the whole entire financial grid. It changed the whole entire social grid. You know what I'm saying? It changed the whole, it separated the generations even more. It put even more stupid disinformation out there on the internet for young people to believe. Oh my God, look at this! TikTok. Does anybody remember that the Chinese government owns TikTok? Right? Am I the only idiot out here in the boonies that's paying attention to what's coming across the stupid box and knows the difference between what's right, what's propaganda, what's wrong, and what's media? The media. You know, Trump was right, you know what I'm saying, but he manipulated the media to his own account, and he still is, you know what I'm saying, so he didn't have any room to talk neither. None of them do. Anyway, hey, Dobby, let's crack it. What do we got? We're up to 16 minutes here. Mom went to town to go sit with the boy. I put fresh kitty bits and water right after I swept the floor. So eat some kitty bits and be happy with it. The door's open. Just because you got to jump in and out the screen doesn't mean nothing. You killed a snake this morning. Yeah, I did. I chewed his head right off. I had to pick me up. They had played with it for like 2 hours. Sissy was throwing it up in the air. Yeah, these cats are beasts. They really are. But Doobie almost got caught. We think he almost got caught by one of the big eagles that's been flying around lately. There's a pack of 4 of them that have been flying around. Right? And we think the other day when we weren't here, when the door was open and the kitties were just home by themselves, then one of them tried to grab Dewey because right here he's missing a big old chunk of hair, right? And there's a real thin scratch across part of his skin, and his eye was a little messed up from like he was in a fight real bad, right? Now if that one's done, let's light this one back up. Okay, So Ukraine's doing good. Zelensky's still crying, he's still whining, you know what I'm saying? But remember, he was a TV actor, you know what I'm saying? And he played this almost very same character in, fake TV land. He's playing it in real TV land now. There was a thing that happened over in Israel a couple of days ago, right? That broke the headlines, you know what I'm saying? Usually over there, it's relatively, it's militarized. I mean, Palestine is completely surrounded by a wall. You know what I'm saying? There's checkpoints everywhere. There's guards, and if you don't know this about Israel, right, you need to do some research on the people of Israel and how their society works. Just about everybody between the ages of 17 and 61 are in the army right now. It's a military camp, that whole country, right? Yes, they enjoy their freedom. Yes, they do. But soldiers are soldiers, and if you see any videos, you'll see them walking around in their uniforms, carrying their guns. Yes, they do, right? I'm saying, but there has been a rash of killings, of bombings. Not actually bombings, killings. You know what I'm saying? People popping up with a gag and taking some people out right here and there. You know what I'm saying? Killing some children. This latest one, right? It was a suitcase bomb. You know what I'm saying? And a gun. Dude starts shooting, bang, bang, bang. And when the soldiers turn around to get him, he pushed the trigger. Boom! Right? Took out the whole plaza. Right? Now, this is bad. Now, this is bad for a lot of reasons. Right? Because no one yet has claimed responsibility for these attacks. But the government and the media and everybody else is trying to blame it on all the rival factions that are already there who have not, one of them yet has claimed anything about anybody. So I'm wondering, you know what I'm saying, if there isn't some external force here, you know what I'm saying, trying to capitalize on the fact that Russia is just about choked out dead, but they still got secret police and they still got spies everywhere and they still got all kinds of shit going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm wondering if they ain't trying to start up some strife somewhere else across the world in a very important place to a lot of countries. You know what I'm saying? And stir the pot a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? Try to take the pressure off themselves. Mr. Putin. Russian mindset. You know what I'm saying? They won't give up. But they won't give in. Anyways, so, you know what I'm saying? That's just you guys know me. This is just my perspective, you know what I'm saying, from what's been going on the last couple of weeks, you know what I'm saying, and what's, the box, right, and what's going on. Because remember, out about in the boonies, you know what I'm saying, we get to chatting, maybe once, twice, a couple of, a week, maybe sometimes a month. We don't go for, 3 weeks at a time. We don't go anywhere, but right here, and I used to do my chores, you know what I'm saying, so, right, television, phone, computer, that's what we got, internet, feed, you know what I'm saying? Right? You guys make your comments, you know what I'm saying? So please like and subscribe, share this video, right? If if is there anything you want to talk about? Got any questions? Need any more answers? Thank you.